I want to talk about something that's really important to me. So you're big into inequality, as am I. I grew up as working class as is possible. The only thing that was famous about the town that I grew up in the UK is it had the highest teen pregnancy rating in the UK. And then it lost that. So it didn't even have that anymore. Fatherlessness. Boys who grow up apart from their biological father are about 2 times more likely to land in prison or jail by age 30. Fatherlessness is a better predictor of incarceration than race or growing up poor. Young men are more likely to end up in prison or jail in the US than they are to graduate from college if they are raised in any non-intact family setup. Regardless of family income, children in intact families are about half as likely to be diagnosed with depression. What do you make of that?
I make it to be a serious crisis. And I make it, I believe in family. And I believe we have got to create the conditions for young people to be good dads and good moms, and to raise healthy children.
Thinking about some of the groups that you've brought up today, one of the ones that's obvious in its absence is men. Why have the left tended to not talk about men's issues, do you think?
That's a good question. And I think, we start with, I think the underlying issue is that for a very long time, women were second-class citizens in this country. And people were saying, does it make sense that you have women who cannot become police officers, soldiers, carpenters, governors, presidents of the United States? And that's wrong. If we believe in equality, we want to give everybody an equal opportunity. So I think there was that focus on that. I think the issue you're raising is getting more discussion, and it needs far more, is that what we have seen right now, and I was on a plane coming from Washington back to Vermont, sitting next to a woman, and she's visiting her daughter at the University of Vermont. And we were chatting, and she mentioned to me that something like over 60% of the college, of the kids in her daughter's class were women.
Correct.
Okay.
2 women for every 1 man completing a four-year US college degree, basically.
All right. Not a good situation.
No. That's a bigger gap than when Title IX came in 50 years ago.
All right.
The other direction.
This is a serious issue. And I think it is not incompatible to say that we believe in women's rights, the right of women to control their own body, that we don't want women to be second-class citizens, but say at the same thing, of course, we want our young men to be able to have all of the opportunities that they deserve as well. And there has not been the kind of focus on that I think needs to be.
Do you know Richard Reeves? He does the American Institute for Boys and Men. Policy one.
I have heard of it. I don't know.
He wrote of Boys and Men. So this is just a passage from an article he wrote a little while ago. So I'm going to get you to react to this. Suicide rates among men under 30 have risen by 40% since 2010 and are 4 times higher than among young women. Male suicides account for as many deaths as breast cancer. Men are less likely than women to go to college or to buy a home. They're more likely to be lonely and more vulnerable to addiction. Young white men from lower income homes are worse off than their fathers on almost every economic and social indicator. Yep. There is a bigger gender gap on campuses today than in 1972 when the government passed Title IX to prevent sex-based discrimination in education, but today the disparities in college enrollment and performance are the other way around. There is no strong evidence that young men are turning against gender equality, but they have turned away from the left because the left has turned away from them. The problems of young men are not the confections of reactionaries. This is a story of elite neglect, not voter chauvinism. The Democrats have failed to address these issues. Under the Biden administration, the Centers for Disease Center Control and Prevention has refused to acknowledge the gender disparity in suicide rates. The White House Gender Policy Council has not tackled a single issue primarily facing boys and men. There have been initiatives to promote women in STEM and construction, but nothing about encouraging men into teaching on men's health. There is women's health research initiatives, but no office on men's health. The Democrats and progressive institutions have a massive blind spot when it comes to male issues, and this was exposed in the election. At worst, men are seen as not having problems, but as being the problem. That was Richard. He's as policy wonky, DC, fluffy
I agree
as you
with
get.
Much, not all what he's saying. I think, look, here is the issue. The world, in the fight for women's equality, the world has changed. All right? 50, 60 years ago, men were the breadwinners in most households, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men were the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Men made the most money. Men were the governors. Men were the presidents. Men were the senators. It was a man's world. That's changed. And the fact that we have fought and achieved more equality for women is a positive thing.
I agree.
All right. But you're suddenly seeing, and I think half of what he says is very true. You're suddenly seeing men feel, does anyone give a damn about me? What's going on in my life? Good. We want women's equality. What about me? Have we paid enough attention to that? I think we have not, and I think we need to do a better job. I don't believe that everything that Reeves is saying is accurate.
I understand. I was watching that now infamous interview that you and AOC did on CNN last week.
It was infamous? What, because Fox Television picked up on it?
Yeah. No, well, it's just gone everywhere. Good. It's gone everywhere, right?
What was infamous about it?
This is what we're talking about. And then you kind of blew through when it was asked, is this going to be a challenge? That wasn't what I was interested in, primarily. What I thought was real interesting was she said the reason that Republicans have appealed to young men is a dangerous way. They are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. Do you think Democrats have done a good job of giving men a positive vision about themselves? She's saying that this is an insecure masculinity as opposed to a healthy one.
I'm not a great expert on this.
Yep.
I think this is a real issue.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to pay a lot more attention to it.
A quick aside, I've been drinking AG1 every morning for years. And it just got even better. AG1 Next Gen keeps the same simplicity, 1 scoop once per day, but now comes with 4 clinical trials backing it. In those trials, AG1 Next Gen was clinically shown to fill common nutrient gaps, improve key nutrient levels within 3 months, and increase healthy gut bacteria by 10 times, even in healthy adults. Basically, they've upgraded the formula with better probiotics, more bioavailable nutrients, and clinical validation. And it's still NSF certified for sport, which means that you know the quality is legit. I actually got to meet the team that runs AG1, all of the top bods at a offsite a couple of months ago here in Austin, and I was really impressed. They took my feedback on board. They were very receptive, and I actually think that they put some of my ideas into the product and the new marketing. So any success that you see going forward from now can be exclusively attributed to me. So hooray for me. And if you're still unsure, they've got a 90-day money-back guarantee. So you can buy it and use it every single day for 3 months. And if you don't like it, they'll just give you your money back. Right now, you can get a year's free supply, vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs, plus that 90-day money-back guarantee by going to the link in the description below or heading to drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. That's drinkag1.com/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. Did you enjoy that clip? Well, full-length episode is available right here. Go on, give it a watch.